What's up guys, today I'm going to make you want to instantly click off this video by talking about the combination of gameplay and marketing when it comes to releasing a new multiplayer game. Because there is one thing that most new multiplayer games completely fail at when it comes to these things. Because if you look back at recent multiplayer failures like Concord, Spectre Divide and Splitgate 2, they all failed this one very important thing. What is it? Let's talk about it. Designing a multiplayer game that lasts is hard because most of the time you're not going to be designing around fun. If we have this core gameplay loop which people resonate with over and over and over again, how can we keep that for the long term? We have to change it up. New season, new content, the game as you knew it, completely changed. New stuff to work towards, new stuff to grind, to unlock, new fancy skins, all of that stuff. Big, bombastic content. But the game needs to be designed in a way that actually allows for that to happen. I'm going to give you two examples of games. Fortnite and Valorant. Fortnite is a game that basically reinvents itself every few months. The whole game completely changes based on whatever collab they're doing or whatever theme they've got for this season. They will add, remove, reintroduce gameplay systems all the time, constantly changing the game. And the positive with the collaboration model is that it allows them to stay in the spotlight, it allows them to keep trendy. Riot is a studio that has a history with longevity, exciting updates, new league champions, all this stuff. But with Valorant they decided to take inspiration from a game whose biggest strength is that it didn't change. Counter-Strike will have 2 balance patches a year, and one of those patches will reduce the price of a gun by $100. Now Valorant does have agents and it has been adding weapons, but there is this thing called bloat. Eventually you want to stop adding weapons because you've got too many. I think with the Bandit now recently being added, Valorant has reached that point, especially with agents as well. We just had this big year 6 patch and guess what? No agents. Whatever you think about Valorant, whether it's good or bad, it just isn't updatable. And because of that, it's hard to keep it exciting. If you're a studio with a big, ambitious multiplayer game ahead of you, think about this. Is your game updatable? How scalable is it after years and years of new content updates constantly changing the game? Is it even possible to do that? And that is the gameplay portion of this point and applies to successful games. Having a game that's updatable is a good way to keep it from stagnating, even if it's good. But next I want to talk about marketing. Forget about gameplay, this is going to be what gets players to actually try and play your game. And in this case, it's all about hype and trust. If I look at a multiplayer game, a new game I could potentially spend hundreds of hours on over the next couple years. If I look at that and I see, ooh, I don't think that's going to last, I'm not going to play it. Maybe I'll try it out, but I won't be nearly as inclined to stick it out. How much do you think this game is going to have a future? It is very important to put that across in marketing. Now, building trust doesn't just come from putting a roadmap out before launch. It also comes in a proper investment in content. If you're a small studio struggling for budget and you just want to get this multiplayer game out as fast as possible, like what happened with Spectre Divide, I'm sorry, but it's going to be extremely tough for you because you won't be able to follow up that launch with meaningful content, or even gain a hype from announcing it beforehand. Players need to know that the servers won't get shut down. Players need to know that the content will be meaningful and engaging, which is why I think it was an absolute genius move for Marvel Rivals to announce before launch that it was going to get one new hero every month. Marvel Rivals is clunky, it's slow, it's boring, it's cluttered, it's messy, everyone is so tanky, it's unfun, it doesn't feel good, the third person sucks. But it did every single thing right when it comes to game marketing. Established IP, popular genre, you've all played a bloody hero shooter, here's hero shooter with all the characters you know from Marvel in it. Despite Marvel Rivals gameplay wise being a pile of absolute garbage, it's still going strong because players have trust in its future. An established IP is important. This is why publishers are so keen to hold on to established multiplayer studios like Bungie, for instance. Nobody actually believes that Marathon servers will shut down after a few weeks because it's Bungie. Bungie made Destiny. They made Halo. This means that people trust that whenever they release a new multiplayer game, it won't just disappear. Here is my personal advice to you and your new $100 million multiplayer IP. Invest in updatability and communicating updatability. Make players trust that they know your game will be maintained. It will be exciting. But above all, build community. Engage with your community. Interact with your community because they will do the marketing for you. You'll announce an update for a game and you'll have 100 retweets saying, wow, look at this. This looks so cool. I love XYZ character. They're so hot. They're so cool. I love this game. This is why I think building a game with your community, having sporadic short bursts of playtests with the people who will be playing your game every few months is the best way to develop a multiplayer game. Not only do you get feedback live from people who actually will be playing your game on what you should and shouldn't do, but also those people will naturally transition into community members before the game launches. I think that's the best way to develop a multiplayer game. Thanks for watching. I am a game designer, not a marketing consultant, and tap out. Peace. See ya. If you're writing a game design document for a new multiplayer game, talk about what updates will include. When you're writing the pros and cons for this new feature, say, wow, this will be so updatable. We've got a bunch of weapon systems. We can add new weapons to the game, and it'll be cool, and we can add them in a way where it doesn't detract from old weapons, so they can coexist. Maybe you can reskin new weapons, and actually skins are important because